thing I want to do before I roll the engine over, starting the bottom end, is I want to get this balancer off in the timing cover. So to do that, you do need a proper tool. If you try to use a gear puller, what's going to happen is you're going to pull on this outer ring, and the inner outer ring is going to separate then from the inner hub, because between the two you have an inertia ring, and it's made out of rubber. And again, pulling on that, it's going to actually damage it. And if the rubber isn't damaged or cracked, you can actually reuse these and save you some money. Typically, you replace it anyways. We'll see what kind of budget we get when we get into this engine and how much the parts are going to be. But you can get these kits for the remover, and this is actually an installer, and you can get them at the auto parts store. So you never want to pound this back on with a hammer and whatever else you're going to try to put it back on. You want to get the proper removal and installer tool. I think I paid about $80 for this kit a number of years ago. I used it on many engines. I got a lot of use out of it. I got my money well worth out of it. So I'm going to take out this center bolt, and I'm going to set it up so I can get this balancer off. First, we got to take off this balancer bolt in the center. Then I've kind of already set the tool up a little bit. We're going to find bolts that fit into these threads, but you need a nice cone for the center that goes into the center hub of the crankshaft. And I'm going to just use a couple of adjustable wrenches in order to back it out. But to use this tool, and there's a way you got to do it for an install and then a removal. So you follow the opposite procedure, set up the tool a little differently. But this one I'm going to set in the center of the crankshaft like that. And I'm going to back it in enough so I can get these 3 bolts. And you want to use 3 bolts. Remember, 3 points define a plane. So if you put the 3 bolts in, you shouldn't have any distortion. It should come off evenly. So I'm going to start them by hand. There's different threads depending on the balancer you have, so you have to have the right bolts. I've got a number of them here, but if you don't have the right bolt, you'll have to buy it. Depends what kind of kit you get. So I'm going to back these in. Just back them enough so you got some thread in there. You can actually go all the way and they'll start to come out the other side depending on the balancer. Make sure they're kind of even out from the tool. And I'll just start this by hand till it makes contact with the crankshaft. Now I'm going to use an adjustable wrench. One needs to hold the tool in the center. And then the other one is going to back it off. Now hopefully it's not too tight. So as I'm holding it and turning it, yeah, this one feels like it's going to be tight. You can use the right size wrenches too. I just happen to get something quick. Again, this one is really on there. And I just heard it pop. I don't know if you heard that. So it definitely started to move. And now it's coming off. Get enough leverage there. And now it's moving much easier. It's definitely coming off. Again, this is the best way to get this off. Don't try to force it off with something, a pry bar, you'll never get it off. And it's about ready to come off. Yep, it just popped. So, popped off the crank snout. And that is the proper way to remove a harmonic balancer. Thanks for watching.